Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, very, very Merry Christmas to everybody out there who's watching the podcast today. Thanks very much for joining us. We've got a few of the usual suspects in early doors. Sniper was in before me, which isn't really a surprise, I have to say. We'll get David as well. Merry Christmas, my man. Jason's in as well. And so is Jordy. So Merry Christmas. And as well as another one sneaking in at the bottom there, Sniper again. There's Andrew saying Merry Christmas, but Andrew's here, he can say that himself anyway. So we'll start with us tonight. We've got, I'll do them in the order they join me. Andrew, Merry Christmas, my man, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Merry Christmas to you all. I'm good. As I said to you a minute ago, Wilf, I'm waiting on the wee man turning up at 4 o'clock to cause absolute carnage.
And you wouldn't have it any other way?
No, I would not, mate. No, I would not. I love the bones of the boy. I love the bones of him. And
then next up, joining me this afternoon was Trev. Trev, I know you're going out for a bit of Christmas scram with some relatives later, but how are you today?
Oh, I'm good, boys. Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope you have a good day. I was just adjusting there because I had a stag in my head and it's doing my nut in. But that's you're doing, Brian. That sure must be the stags from your neck of the woods one. Get it off. How do you get it off your napper? I'm just doing this.
I've got no idea. I just put it on and that's what was there. And Sean, I'm not the only one not wearing a Christmas jumper. Trev's the only one wearing a Christmas jumper.
Have you seen? It's the one I had for the night out. If you remember, it's Santa taking a jobbie on someone's.
As well.
There actually used to be a Christmas card like that, and the where he was taking the job, he had Celtic FC written underneath. It was a follow Christmas card many moons ago when they did such a thing. Before we start those certain jollities, whatever it is. Brian, how are you?
Yeah, good man. Just as you say, waiting for the carnage to start. So yeah, I'm probably the most un-Christmassy person that you'll ever know. But yeah, I put my self-loathe of Christmas aside for everybody else. So
yeah, you can't be as un-Christmassy as me. I just do what I'm told. I'm down at my girlfriend's parents because that's where we're told we're going. The good thing with that is I don't need to cook because our sister's doing the cooking, so I'm happy with that.
Why does Brian hate Christmas? Brian, why do you hate Christmas? Come on, let's have it.
Oh, it's just not been a good time for me. So
it's personal. That's understandable, mate.
It's just been personal. It's just not a time of year I look forward to. So
I'll leave it there, Brian. Leave it there, mate.
Brian, that's the very reason. That's the very reason that I always make sure we have a pod on Christmas Day.
Yes.
There are people that don't like Christmas. There's people that like Christmas and they're on their own. You know, for people it's just a break. Let the other half do the cooking. Give them an excuse to get away and do just for whatever reason they're here. They're here. I mean, there's a few people watching, so that's good. If doing a podcast on Christmas Day helps one person get through the day, I'm happy. My job's done.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here for it as well, and also I hope the same in maybe New Year's Day as well. Because why not? Why not?
It's a long day. We're not having to do everything. I mean, I went out for a walk with Carol this morning. We knew that our local Shell filling station was open, so we headed there to grab a coffee as we walked around. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing else to do. It's only places like that are open. So people who are on their own who don't really like this time of year, it must be really, really bad for them. You know what I mean? We're lucky. We've got people like Brian. You're going down to see your brother, and you're going to, go to relations. Trev's going to relations. Andrew, you've got the wee fella coming round. You've got a couple of guys in your house this morning.
Yeah, and my daughter.
Yeah, I'm down at the de facto in-laws. You know what I mean? It's just
de facto in there, Brian. De facto.
Because we're not married, so we're not married. But that is we're going to get because there's no fucking way I'm getting married again. Because I've done it twice. I don't like marzipan that much to do it a third time.
Marzipan a third time.
Oh dear! What an analogy, marzipan. That's cool.
Well, I like Christmas cake, but I don't like Christmas cake and wedding cake. But not that bloody much. You know what I mean?
So, Wilf, you were talking about going. You went for a walk down to the local Shell's petrol station. I actually went a wee walk as well to get some old jungle juice in, and it's obviously the newsagent that's open because they don't celebrate Christmas. So it's
same as that, mate.
There you go, exactly, man. It's just a wee walk. I'm kind of glad they're open because it means we can get stuff around. But do you remember, even years and years ago, you would not even get a petrol station open. You would struggle to get anything open at all. Now it's become a wee bit better. You'll get the odd shop open and you'll get like a Sunday service on a bus or something, or a special service. Now, it was back in the day, it felt like COVID times, you woke up and they'd be like, there's nobody about. I can't get from A to B. What am I going to do?
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
Christmas back in the day reminded me of like War Z. Like nothing. There was nothing moving.
Right, yeah.
There was nobody around. It was just like like you woke up and it was like an apocalypse, and that's what Christmas used to be like. Whereas now, folk are moving around, as you say, Trev. There's shops open now. There's petrol stations open. But yeah, back in the day when I was growing up, it was just like War Z. There was nothing open.
It's kind of shame in a way, isn't it? I kind of wished it was like 20 years ago. Is that weird?
I got to senior management with Tesco, and I remember even in the late 80s, early 90s, everything was shut until maybe a day after Boxing Day, 2 days after Boxing Day. And there was no Tesco Express or anything like back then. It was just the big supermarkets or the high street store. And as you say, Brian, you would go out with the dog or whatever, and you would not see a soul. No. You would not see a soul. I mean, in some ways, I agree with Trev. Maybe it'd be nice to have that again. And I always say the other one, so it makes me sound like a right old Grinch. This, when I was with Tesco, then the stores never ran out of anything, but we didn't have email, and we didn't have mobile phones or computers, and the stores very rarely ran out of anything. Now, because it's all done on algorithms and everything to order your stock, they're forever running out of stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Just to cut in, guys, Bobby Finlay on his own Christmas Day, and it's his birthday tomorrow. So, Bobby, we're here for you. Great to have you along.
We are indeed, Bobby.
Happy birthday when it comes, my
tomorrow, mate.
Happy birthday for tomorrow. I hope Rangers give you a nice present the day after.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
And it's Ian T's birthday today as well, apparently. He was selfish and he was born on the same day as Christmas. How rude is that?
Not too bad if Jesus is a birth twin, though, is it?
Surely the parents have got to take a bit of responsibility in the fact that they must have realised that 9 months. You know what I mean?
A bit of forward planning, Brian.
Exactly, a bit of forward planning. It's just not hard.
Or as Billy Connolly used to say, use the rhythm method.
Here. Speaking of which, right? Forward planning, right? When Scotland actually qualified for the World Cup, do you think about 9 months from now? There'll be more kids than usual, and keep that thought in your head. When Scotland get to the World Cup next year, right, and all the single lads from the Tartan Army go over, how many more? How high is the birth rate going to go up 9 months later?
In America,
all these locals and kilts coming over there.
That, Trev. But who's going to be the daddy of all these babies? Because all the boys will be at the World Cup.
No, they're going over. That's what
I'm saying. That's what he's saying.
That's it. Two thoughts. One thought, that's the second thought. They'll go over there, all the single lads in kilts and that.
I have to take Mexico out of the equation because obviously we're not in Mexico or Canada, so it's purely going to be American mums.
Yeah. We'll be reversing it from the Second World War then, Brian. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. It's only going to be single lads that will be able to afford to go to the World Cup because going to America isn't cheap at the best of times.
Have you seen some of the prices?
Prices of the tickets. Anybody that's got any responsibilities will not be able to go.
It disgusts me. It disgusts me the prices. Well, it really, really does because I've got the guy that I do the gaming pod with stays about an hour west of Miami, so I could have just crashed with him and got flights a different way so that I'm not going straight to Miami. And made it affordable. But the ticket prices, I said, can you get any cheaper being a local? And that, and he looked. He says, I can't. I'm gutted, man. That could have been a one-off opportunity. I don't want to go to see Haiti or Morocco. No offence. You might go to the Glamor match, Brazil, don't you?
But the pricing is going to come down because there is going to be dynamic pricing because there's going to be, like, for example, Haiti against Morocco. They're not going to sell out an 80,000 stadium for that. No. You'll get tickets for a $5, probably. But people are not making the point of going over and want to get the tickets up front to make sure they go.
Yeah, but these bigger games, Wilf, if you look even at the basic prices, for a ticket and a hotel accommodation, you're talking thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous. And then when you chuck your flights in.
I did see one place saying that a ticket for a World Cup final ticket's like $50,000.
That's well. I've got a pal, a guy I met going.
No, no bevy yet, Trev. Right,
been a good boy, monster.
Not in the bevy yet. But I met an English fella on the way to a Rangers pre-season game a couple of years ago in Germany. We stayed in the same hotel and we got chatting. And lovely guy. And he's got a season ticket at Rangers. He's got a season ticket at Sunderland despite being a London cabbie because his dad's from Sunderland. Goes to every single England game, and he's worked out that if England get to the World Cup final, it's going to cost him $5,500 in tickets only. Only for match tickets if they get to the final. $5,500 in match tickets, and that's only for him.
And being sceptical, how much of that is going in the pockets of FIFA officials?
Well, that's why.
Oh,
that's
what?
Because FIFA
pocket everything.
The most corrupt body's going, I think.
Well, it's like these draws. It's not there's not Infantino and a couple of hangers on. There's truckloads of people. There's absolutely
Platini for something with FIFA and UEFA a few years ago. There was a crossover. Was Platini fined as well or something? Or
he got charged. He got done with Blatter.
I thought he did.
Yeah.
Because that was when Blatter seemed to walk away a wee bit not sticky. You know what I mean? I was very sceptical of that because he didn't get charged with anything as far as I can remember.
But no, FIFA pocket all the money from World Cups. The host nations don't get a thing.
Well, they reckon that Coca-Cola are going to pay them billions.
Oh, of course they will.
Sure, no, they do get money. Like every association gets money, like a set amount for qualifying, do they not?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. You mean they don't divvy it up like they do for television rights? They just get a set amount and that's it.
Yeah, and then the officials, you look at some of these officials, I mean, okay, we're going back to Blatter. I mean, when they looked into his personal side, how is a man who was earning $250,000 a year, allegedly, as president, how did he have all them houses and cars and
Havelange was the worst FIFA president. He was before Blatter.
Yeah, that's right,
He was as corrupt can get.
He was a big fella, wasn't he?
But the Brazilian, he was as corrupt can be. He was just horrendous.
They're sure to make a good point before we go off and slaughter the FIFA and get cancelled because we've had a right pop at FIFA. at least England put the money into grassroots football because England do put money into grassroots. The SFA are getting rid of all the grassroots teams. To me, Trev, I think that's because the SFA basically live from hand to mouth. They don't have like a wad of money sitting in the bank. I think the English FA have got a few quid kicking about.
Well, I was a grassroots coach down here for a lot of years and manager. And my teams, any team I've been involved with, club, who have had kids' sites, whatever, I can recall twice in 25 years getting money from the local FA. And that was via McDonald's.
Are they that skint? Are they that skint, or is it just they've got priorities elsewhere?
Local FA in Bedfordshire have just spent £9.5 million building a new facility.
Oh, that's grim. I generally think it's a combination of a couple of things. Of there isn't money in Scottish football. We know that there generally isn't the money in Scottish football, and B, I think it's down to also how, I was going to say corrupt, that's FIFA, how crap and badly run they are as well. Corruption. The opinions of Trevor are not necessarily that of the Rangers Rabble.
No, they are. Anyway, on that subject, we've got a mountain of super chats and super stickers.
Go for it.
So rattle through these now. So thank you very, very much for the support from Desmond Mason. A nice super sticker. You'll see that if you're on YouTube, I believe.
Des is from my neck of the woods, Wilf.
Okay. There's Smudge. Merry Christmas, everyone. I think he's the same as Brian. Emotional time for us as well. So thanks for putting on the show. It's an absolute pleasure. And it saves me sitting down.
Gifted memberships there, Wilf, as well.
Yeah, and it saves me sitting down with the de facto in-laws. There's another one from Des as well. Brian, were you in a hurry last night when you overtook him? He was on call. He had a reason to be going quite fast. But you appeared to have overtaken him last night.
Well, to be fair, I didn't know it was Des, but I was wanting home because I just finished work. So, yeah, apologies, Des, but I was wanting home.
You knew Brian was in a hurry because he was carrying the car.
Well, you weren't speeding on the notorious A96, Brian.
No. Well, I set the speedo at about 60, 61, but I boot it past people. Yeah.
Brian, can you stop moving so quick because your nose is going to catch me? You know.
Also, Flo Ranger in with a super chat as well. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.
There's my tag team.
Robertson Arms has gifted a lot of memberships there.
Our very own Stephen Robertson. Member for 4 months, absolutely brilliant. And he's also gifted 10 Rangers Rabble memberships as Christmas presents to non-members who happen to tune in. So, absolutely fantastic. Stephen, thanks very much. And if you are one of the lucky recipients of the free memberships, enjoy all the extra content you're going to get. And
I'm not drinking it, Trev.
No, it's a cheers, mate, for those that, you know.
Cheers, okay.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Come on.
I'm not mixing Vimto with Monster. I don't know what would happen.
Come on, Andrew. Don't leave me hanging, mate. Come on, son.
There you go.
Come on.
There you go.
There you go, Bosh.
Absolute animals drinking that, eh?
Yeah, off. See that Monster? Demi lives on Monster. Oh. Demi, you won't see Demi without a can of Monster.
I'm drinking that. Well, you told me off yesterday when I said I might have a drink.
No, you asked the question. Should I have a drink? I only gave you my opinion.
Well, I stick to 1 or 2 of these a day because if I have any more, it's not good for you having too many. And it's always sugar free because the amount of sugar in them is too much.
Sugar free as well.
The sugar free version is just so much better, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I think so.
Makes you think it's better. Makes you think it's better, Brian.
I can't really criticise because for every tin of energy juice you guys have, I probably have 2 or 3 cups of coffee. So, because I drink coffee,
there's probably just as much caffeine in that, Wilf, as there is in these.
Oh, probably, yeah. I just don't do those drinks. I just drink lots of coffee.
I just patch your caffeine drinks. I patch your coffee, and I just have Guinness. Simple as that.
You're messing with Brian. Just give me Guinness. Yeah?
Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Go right round the board and one go straight to the pub.
That explains why Brian was carrying the car last night when he was overtaking people.
Absolutely.
Flintstones.
I'll never see that episode of Still Game the same again. Pint of Guinness. I'll just see Brian. I'll just see Brian.
Pint of Guinness.
No.
I don't know
What's her name again?
Well, I don't know if it's that or when she wakes up. Bobby wakes up next to her. And he
dinner.
Oh, Andrew, I was enjoying my Christmas day. Oh dear.
What was her name? What was her name? That character's name again?
Oh,
is it Elsa?
Look at that.
Come on, Wilf. Actually,
come on, somebody in the chat. Where was she?
Brian, you tell us. It's your bird. Come on, you tell us. You should know now.
I'm trying to remember, and I can't actually. To be fair.
Well, someone in the chat will tell us.
Effie?
Oh, that was close. It's close to that. Someone tell us. Somebody in
the chat must know who the pint of Guinness was in Still Game. Come on. Somebody must know. Somebody get on Google and tell us.
I can't multitask. I can't pod and Google, man.
Brian's obviously taking his engagement ring back. From
no, it's no Isa. It's no Isa. No. The one with the big teeth and that. The ugly one, the wee one.
Edith.
Ethel.
Edith.
Sorry. Right, okay.
Yep.
It's no Ethel. That's Walter's wife, isn't it?
How does Hightower know this?
Well, there you go.
That's what we want to know.
Because
you need to make some inquiries here.
We know why, because he's so tall and Edith's so small. He likes wee women, like small women.
He can't see her from up that far high, so it's fine.
It's the right size to pat her head.
It's like a skyscraper. It's like a skyscraper in a bungalow, isn't it? It's just no comparison.
Have you noticed in the picture?
That old I've watched it from start to finish.
He's coming out with excuses now.
They're Jason showing his age, Andrew. You remember that? Ethel was in EastEnders.
How do you
was that the old bird? Was that the real old bird? No, that was Doc Cotton.
Like Martin, you are. Keeps
Doc
telling me I'm 96.
You're not a day over 94. Come on.
Well, you know, I don't feel a day over 94.
And he's drinking Monster at that age.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
That's only in case my neighbour starts this Christmas, but we've called a truce. We've called a truce, apparently.
Oh,
so you're not chasing your neighbour down the street with a bucket over your head?
Mate, that was seriously. We were talking about it yesterday. 20 years ago, Wilf, I was so embarrassed, and it's hard to embarrass me, as you could probably imagine. I got in my house and I sat there like that going, Jesus, what are they thinking of me? It was the way the guy just stood there and went, morning. And I went, pulling the bin up like that, morning. And he went, going to be interesting, isn't it? I went,
Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about, folks, listen back to one of the shows from yesterday, and Andrew will tell you all, because that was some story. That was fantastic. That was really
what it was, quite simply, I'd just moved in. We had the works party that night, so I was rushing about, and I get the old, the debtor's knock, as I call it. Open it, and there's this black guy there, built like Apollo Creed, with another 2 foot on him. And he went, are you so-and-so? And he stepped right in my face, and I don't like that. And of course, I'm going back 20 years, so I'm in my 40s. So I stepped right in against him, and he started, and I pushed him back. And because I've got a ramp rather than a stair, he slipped. So, of course, he kicked off, started ranting. So I ranted back. I spots the wheelie bin that's just been delivered. I've not even unsealed it. Right? The seal's still on it with the lid in. Right? And he's telling me I am this person. I said, I'm not. And I picked it up above my head, and I've chased him what must be 300, 400 yards down the courtyard. And you can imagine what I was shouting, Merry Christmas, and how are you? And, nice to see you. And as I turned round after he legged it, my neighbour's just going, oh, no. And I thought, Jesus, what have I done? And then Martin says to me, I thought you were going to say you put him in the bin. How couldn't you have lifted him? He was huge. Jesus. So, yeah, I got a wee bit of a reputation back 20 years ago, but we were talking about it yesterday. It was quite funny. I'd actually forgotten about it. But, yeah.
On the more serious matters than chasing large curly gentlemen down the street, Brian, realistic expectations for Danny Rule in 2026. Andrew Sharp putting us back onto the street. What we're talking about.
A realistic expectation for Danny Rule. Wow, this could go. There's so many.
It's an easy question.
So many expectations, but the realistic ones. I think a realistic one is that Chermiti goes out on loan and just goes somewhere else and goes back to Portugal and plays there. We need to take advantage of the free market in the January the 1st. That is a must. Everybody thinks you've got to spend millions and millions to get signed good players. Steven Gerrard proved when he was manager, you can sign guys for either 250,000 or free and assemble a team. So we have proven in the past that we can operate in this transfer market and not spend stupid money. So we need to get back to identifying, and I dare say since the manager's come in that he has spoke to the higher ups and they have identified people that they feel that can come in and do a job. So I would like to think that the realistic expectation is that they'll identify people who are out of contract in the summer. I dare say he's already sussed who he's not wanting to keep. So let's be honest, they'll be either told in January, look, you've either got 6 months to sort yourself out, or you're out you're gone, or but we all know January's a horrendous month to try and do business because teams get desperate. If you want somebody, they double the price. If a player wants to move, he doubles his wages. So it's a notorious window to operate. But I think the realistic one is that he at least gets guys ready for the summers and signs people for a Bosman. And then hopefully there's at least 3 or 4 that exit the club.
Yeah, I mean, Trev, do you think that we can maybe take advantage of the fact it's a World Cup year? There'll be players wanting to, play regular first team football to get in the World Cup. And the problem with that is you'd probably be looking to bring him in on loan. We've only got one loan spot available to us unless we end some of the loans we've got, and I don't know if that's possible.
What is it? 5 loans maximum, isn't it? Is that it?
We've currently got.
Right. Okay. It could work both ways. For players wanting some games ahead of the World Cup, and if Roll and the team actually look for the right mentality of person, we could get some people in that will actually be hungry and want to do a job for us. But then look at the other side of the coin. You would have thought, well, World Cup coming up, you'd get people like the biggest example is Raskin wanting to play better so he could get in the national side. But he is not. So I think ultimately getting some people in that's hungry is doable for us. I'm worried about who we can get rid of. That's going to be the issue for me, right? Because like they're a lot of it's deadwood, and a lot of players are not playing great for us. Somebody will possibly be willing to take them at a certain level, but the thing is, right? Either way, we're losing money, Wilf, right? Even in a good day with all the shite we bought, we're losing money here because of another disastrous window. So let's just hope, like I echo what Brian said, let's get rid of some. If we can get rid of a couple of bodies, at least 2-3 bodies, and get another 2, 3, 4 bodies in, we're doing well for a January window. I will give Roll till probably late this time next year at least, because he's got to have 2 decent windows under his belt to try and get rid of this dross, and then he'll be in the door over a year, and I'll judge him then. But glass half full kind of guy. So
yeah, I mean, Andrew, there's Aldo making a good point. If we can somehow get rid of 2 or 3 of the loans, are we allowed to replace them with loans? Because is it 6 different people over the course of a season, or is it 6 at one time? I actually don't know the answer to that. I would
you're allowed
6
at one time, Wilf. Yeah, you're allowed 6 at one time, but you can't go over that. The only way you can go over it is if you bring in 2 youth players or academy players from elsewhere on loan, which would make no sense to us. But if you ship 3 out, you can bring 3 in, but you can't go above the 6 at any one time.
Good.
I also believe there's a wage restriction as well. I might be wrong, but I think there's a wage restriction as well with the loans, like percentage-wise, that you can't go above. So, yeah, if we get, as Aldo's quite right, if we get rid of 3, then you can bring another 3 in. But I think if he brings another 3 loans in, these loans, they can't be squad. They've got to be starters.
Oh yeah, whoever we bring in, Trev, they have to be starters. We don't need squad players. I mean, look at the bench we had against Hearts. You look at the bench and go, there's not really a lot there. So we can't be bringing in squad players. We have to bring in starters, and then the guys that are currently starting become the squad players.
yeah, we 100% need to bring this. I know the summer will be probably ultimately the more important window because you can't do too much in January. But we need to go for quality, not quantity. We really do. We need to get in a few bodies that can start straight away, that will make a difference. Because if we just get those few bodies in, that might be enough to kick us on. You know, some of our players will only play better if they've got better players around them. I'm thinking of someone like, I don't know, Raskin or Asgard. If they've got better players around them, they tend to start playing better. Just look at Raskin for the Belgian national team. You know, so if we get a few good bodies in to kick on the rest, that might be enough to get us to the end of the season with something under our belts, and then we do most of the work in summer. But I'm going to be optimistic, guys. I'm going to be optimistic. I have to be. We have to be.
Hey, Brian, there's big Phil saying we need permanent players in, and we'll be rebuilding even more in the summer. I tend to agree with that. However, you don't tend to get good deals at a realistic price in January. So it might be a case of we'll have to shuffle the loans about. But again, I'm not sure if we can. The loan, I don't know the current loan deals we've got. No idea whether we're allowed to break them, and if we're not, it's going to have to be permanent deals, which means that Cavan and Marathi are going to have to get their wallets out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I was following on from Shona's message. I'm just sort of looking at the rules here. It says a maximum of 5 players total can be shared between 2 clubs, loan and cooperation, with no more than 3 on loan cooperation at any time, e.g. 2 loans, 3 cooperation, or vice versa. Players on the list need to play a minimum of 15 minutes in 5 matches by the 31st of March to stay eligible for the cooperation club past that date. So yeah, we all think, I think we all shared concerns when we signed so many loan players in the summer, because we all appreciated that although that'll get us by this season, all you're doing is, it's a stay of execution, and as far as I'm concerned, you're just causing another problem for the next summer. Because although your numbers are there for this season, you're delaying the inevitable in the sense that the next summer is going to be as bad, because all your loans are going to disappear and you're going to have to sign more players. So this is the problem. I've always said loans should be to top up your squad or to complement your squad. For a loan should be a guy that you really would love to sign, but you can't afford. That's what a loan for me is really like. A guy that's on the fringe of a top, like, see, EPL or German, or, he's on the fringe, but you can't get in the team. And he wants game time. Yeah, exactly. Like Mikey Moore. He's on the fringe, or Czerny, yeah. And he's on the fringe of a top team, and you can't quite afford his wages. You can't quite afford his transfer fee, so you loan him. And there's often times that the selling club might give you a reduction in the fee, as in a future fee. So that's always what I've thought loans was. What we did this summer was absolutely catastrophic as far as I'm concerned. Signed so many guys on loan. Apart from Tav, our entire back line is pretty much loans. And that's
disgusting.
That's just disgusting. Yeah, Wilf, Trev, it's just disgusting. It's not good enough. And I think that we've got only one guy in that, or Suter and Trav are the only signed players, I think. But they're both out of contract in the summer as well. And they're out of contract in the summer as well. So basically, what you're looking at is we've got no defenders for the summer. Literally no defenders. So I don't know where Thelwell thought he was going with this, and I don't know where Stuart thought they were both going with this. But that's the reality of what we're looking at now. So all the loans are going to disappear. Tav and Suter are maybe going to disappear. We need a whole new backline, and others to sort of be backups.
Yeah. And you see the whole loan thing for me. I mean, you're a bit longer in the tooth like me. Right? I mean, back in our day, loan players were really these young players coming through, or old guys at the end of their career. You didn't get. I mean, I couldn't believe that some of our loan players are in their mid-20s, because to me, you sign a loan player and they're 21 tops. That's it. Yeah. We've brought in, I think, 2 or 3 of our loan players are 22, 23, 24-year-old. To me, that's mental. Surely you've got to be looking to bring these guys in on a permanent basis.
Yeah, you would have thought so. I mean, as you say, we're long in the tooth. If you remember when DJ came back for Chelsea, the first 3 months were on loan. They were on loan the first 3 months till Chelsea made their mind up whether they wanted him back or not. And, he was what then? He was 31 then when he came back. Obviously, he didn't do as well as he did the first time. So if you're going to bring loan players in, they need to be players of the quality of Mikey Moore that he's now showing, that can do a job for us and not just fill a bench or potentially fill a squad, as Brian said. And they can come in and hit the ground running and do what we need them to do. But going back to the original question with Rule, I got shot down in flames by Paul the other day because on the reaction show, he said that I said Rule's got to be fired in the summer. What I said was, Kavanagh will be watching this, what goes on in January, a tough window, what he does, who he brings in, and what he gets out of them for the summer. If Rule brings them in and gets something out of these guys that he's obviously got in his mind and gets rid of who he wants to get rid of, then he'll have a good window in the summer. And as Trev said, he'll be there till this time next year, hopefully doing what he's done, barring the Hearts game. And then we should negate the need to constantly bring these loan players in and become reliant on them. And my other worry with that is, when is this academy of ours going to do something consistent so that we can avoid bringing players through like Halkett, etc., sell them, and now we're talking about bringing them back? It's nonsensical to me. And we go and spend thousands of pounds on a loan.
Lewis Mayo's another one that cracks me up. We let him go to Kilmarnock after 2 great loans, and we sold him or let him go to Kilmarnock, and now there's talk of taking him back. We should never have let him go in the first place.
Well, the Halkett thing's interesting because I've just had to calm my missus down before we went live because she's just punched the air with great delight. Apparently, he signed a contract with Hearts till 2028. They announced it this morning, so I don't think
contracts mean nothing, Will, do they?
No, I know. But if we want him back, he's going to cost us money. He was out of contract before, so we could probably have got him for a song in January if we wanted him back. But Trev, they're showing us saying, could we see Condie and Kyle Glasgow get more opportunities in the second half of the season, maybe against Annan? I personally don't think so because they're only 15, 16-year-old. I think we'll do well to hang on to Kyle Glasgow, who's now in the coaching under 16 team, when he looks so out of place in the team photo. It's not real, but that's another issue.
the pasty white guy. Everyone else has got a nice tan there, and it gets.
Is that because he's got a soul tire painted on his forehead when he's in the
I'll try and keep this rant to a minimum, because then I'll just go off in ages about Rangers and youth signings and game time and all that, and just the youth policy in general. I'm with Wilf. I can't sure I see those boys getting a chance, because look at the boys above them. How often are they? Curtis, how often is he getting actual any game time? Rangers and youth players, it's a horrible dilemma to be stuck in. They've got to be good enough to go in, but then at the same time, if you leave them out, they'll be wasted. They'll this talent just sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I would like to see the boys above that getting more of a chance first, before those boys get a chance. But Rangers and youth, it's always the same. It does mean nothing. We should have one of the best youth academies in the country, and we don't. We're way back, actually, I think. So I'll keep it at that before I start going ranting even more, and I don't want to do that.
Brian, there's CJ saying, and quite correctly, I think, until we get a decent settled team, the youngsters have got absolutely no chance. And that's partly down to us as supporters. I'll be perfectly honest. That's down to the support.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, if we're fully expecting 15, 16, 17-year-olds to come into this team and save us, then that's an indictment on where we are as a club. You can't expect these kids to come in, try and make a difference in a team that's already struggling, and to try and make a difference when it's all very well bringing in like 16, 17-year-old kids when you're winning and you're dominating and like we used to, but you can't expect kids to come in and like bail a team like a team the size of Rangers out. I mean, then all the expectation goes on them. Then if they start to not play well, the muffles start coming of he started well, but he's no good. So we're building up these kids just to knock them down, and that's not what it's about. We just need to sort our in-house better, and we need to sign better players. That if you can have one 15, 16, 17-year-old in a team, but you can't start filling a team, as Alan Hansen used to say, you can't win a league with kids. I know, but I think
that was a different situation, Brian, wasn't it? That
was a completely different situation. But you know what I mean? The point is that you introduce 17, 18-year-olds into the team when you're doing well and you've got good senior pros around them. When you're thinking of filling a team of, Mikey Moore, Curtis, Glasgow, that's asking an awful lot of them, and the experience isn't there. So, look what happened with Leon King. Played in the Champions League, got absolutely destroyed, and we've never seen him since.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, there's CJ and I said, other teams bring in their kids to play against us. I think that's down to the pressure of playing for Rangers. Or, other teams are not expected to win every game. It's playing Rangers is their cup final, whereas every game we play is a cup final for whoever we're playing. So there's a lot more pressure on the kids coming in with us.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it doesn't matter who we put in. And as you say, going back again, Wilf, to the years back, you remember the Graham Fifes and Ian McDonalds and all of them that came in, and they soon disappeared because of the pressure. They started off well. They started playing. Graham Fife particularly, I remember, did really well for about a season, and then he tailed off completely because he just couldn't handle that pressure of every team was up for it when they played Rangers. It was just on him all the time and on every other youngster. And you can't do that, because if you do that to a player at Rangers, you're going to finish him by the time he's 17 for us. And then exactly the scenario we've got now, you're going to see him like Halkett's and McCrory's and whatever, go off somewhere else where he'll get a game regularly, he'll get the education he needs, and he'll become a better player. Because as you say, it's down to us fans, because we demand we must win every game. And every other team, this is, we might not get to a cup final for 10 years. So Rangers and Celtic, I hate saying it, but that's their cup final every time they play us. Every time.
But Trev, we can't let our standards slip. We've traditionally gone into games, we have to win every game. We can't let our standards slip, because they're starting to slip. We can't say, we can bring players in and see what happens and maybe go a couple of seasons. We won't accept that, and we shouldn't have to accept that.
Yeah. What keeps the standards as high as they are is us, the fans. That's always been my opinion. Yes, it's the club and the manager and all that. Sorry, coach. But what keeps the standards as high at Rangers? It's always the fans. What kept the demands there was always us. What kept 50,000 people or close enough at Ibrox every other week when we were going through the leagues? Us. That's what keeps all this going. So if we get used to this, if we don't keep pushing on, if we don't keep getting the point across, the banners, the noise, the chants, we will become an average team, an average club, and the hierarchy above will get used to it as well. So we just need to keep these standards as high because we effectively are Rangers and the standards have got to be at the highest at all times. Otherwise, what's the point?
Brian, before I come back to you, we've got Teddy Boy joining us, a new member. I'm glad there's not an H between the B and the O. So welcome along, Teddy. Great to have you. Absolutely brilliant to have you along.
That could be an enigma.
There's Jason Prince, member for 3 months, who we'd like to see coming and go on loan. We've sort of touched on that. And there's Shona. Brian, tell Shona is she right or wrong? Because she keeps banging. She's banging the Kenny McLean drum again.
Shona,
Right.
I don't want to be the Grinch, but I'm going to be the Grinch. Clement actually tried to take McLean to Rangers, so he loves McLean. So there was. I would say that again.
He tried to take him, did he? And what did McLean say no? Or what?
He wanted McLean at Rangers, but Norwich wouldn't play ball. And of course, where's Clement now? He's at Norwich, so there's no chance of McLean, I'm afraid. I would like it, but sorry, Shona, I don't want to burst your bubble, but it's not going to happen.
But would you take him if it could happen, Brian?
Oh, I would take him if we could, but it's not going to happen. So I'm not even going to entertain the subject because it's not going to happen. So
and it'd be too much. What is he now, like 31 or something? I don't want to say he's in early 30s. It'd be too much.
He's in wages, so that's just bombed us out as well. So
and take into account, other than his Scotland goal, what has he done in the last 18 months?
Well, I haven't watched Norwich that much, so I can't comment. But just the fact of his wages and, yeah, I know Aldo. I have. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you've got to be realistic in situations. So
not a cornflakes.
Not the cornflakes, the Christmas pudding.
Yeah, we did do the cornflakes. Multi-man, as he's now called, is not in.
No, multi-man will be tending to sick children. Children weren't very
contract.
Well, he's out of contract in summer. There's possibly an opportunity, but then
possibly,
who knows? Who knows what goes through their heads? So, but we do, Andrew. We certainly need some experience because that's half the battle. The guys that we've got, we've got all these young players in, and the players that even aren't so young, they've got no experience. For example, Fernandes looks like he could be a half-decent centre-half, but he needs experience beside him. He's 23, 24-year-old, but he needs somebody experienced beside him. There's no point putting Giga in beside him. You know what I mean? Suter's not consistent enough, and he's not really a leader to put in there, so we need leaders in the team, experienced players. And by experience, I don't necessarily mean guys in the late 20s, early 30s, but guys that have played the game at a decent level for a consistent amount of time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I said a few weeks ago that I think Ferdinand could be a great player for us, but he needs to have somebody, as you've just said, Wilf, that's steady, reliable, has played consistently and done well, that can be in his ear during a game, so that he picks up that education about where he should be, how he should react. Because even when he's defending corners at the minute, for as big as he is, he doesn't seem to do too well at defending them, and then he does that thing of his. I've seen him do it a few times now. He gets the ball at his feet and he turns to come out, and then he turns back into trouble. So if he had somebody alongside him just saying, right, give the ball and go, it would help him. But it goes back to the January window. If you find somebody that can do that role, the team that he's potentially going to come from, this player, they're going to ramp up his costs. He's going to ramp up his wage. And also, if he's on the fringes of a national side, he's going to want certain conditions put down that he plays and gets regular games, so he could be knocking on the international manager's door. So we're in a not a bind, but a quandary where you're having to put all that together to try and get experience in the door without paying through the nose in this window, so we can get to the summer. And then that's where I think Kavanagh and Parathi will put the bigger money in to get the experience that we need. Yeah. I know it's a long way off and it could leave us in a bit of difficulty, but I think that's the way it's going to go. I don't see Kavanagh putting in 20 or 30 million pound in January. I really don't.
No, but he'll need to pay above the odds, though, Andrew. Sorry, Wilf. He'll need to pay above the odds. That's the thing. We will need to pay decent money for January, because January is a tough one, as we know. You need to pay above the odds if you want your man. And we are desperate. Clubs know we are desperate. So we won't spend 20 or 30 million, but don't be surprised if we are in double million figures, like, for sure.
We could be here. A deal like Chermiti again, though.
Oh, listen, if Chermiti goes on loan next month, there's the Brucey bonus right there.
Part of a wage has gone out the door. But my concern with him now is, I've said before, I really hope the boy makes me eat my words at the end of the season, Trev.
Me too.
And he scores 12 or 15 goals. I really do. I really do.
That was a good goal he scored, Andrew. That was a good goal he scored against Hearts.
Because we lost 2-1. People haven't spoken about it. But, 8 million quid, let's be realistic. If we get him out on loan and he does reasonably well, that somebody thinks, we'll have a look at him, we'll take him. We're not getting 8 million quid back for him, by the way.
No.
Not a chance. And at the minute, he's cost us £4 million a goal.
I never thought of it like that. Jesus Christ, that's depressing.
Well, £4 million a goal and he's hit the bar, so maybe £3.5 million a goal. You know what I mean?
I think Paul Farewell, a job he's actually been quite polite, isn't it?
Yes, it has. I don't want to be slagging people off on Christmas Day. So
Thesis does have a purpose in life, so that's a bit harsh, yeah.
I think I said to you, Brian, when we did a pod together, did I know? I've always had a sneaking suspicion there's something no right about the Chelsea deal. Don't ask me why. I've just got a gut feeling that something's no right about it.
Andrew, we're investigating that. Apparently, that's what Kavanagh said in a statement. They are investigating that deal.
Trev, the authorities have okayed it. Both clubs agreed the deal. It went to both FAs. What can be done now? Unless we can say he put his fingers in the brown envelope. Prove it.
That's the thing. Kavanagh probably didn't know much about the Chermiti deal because he passed the reins over to Thewell and that for signing players.
What set me off on it was the fact that Kavanagh came out and he didn't say by mutual consent we're parting ways. He said they've been sacked.
Yeah.
Which is not something you hear very much from Rangers, is it?
There's something dodgy going on there, Andrew.
Two executives on the same day at the same time.
Yeah.
Aye.
And he was absolutely categoric about it, wasn't he? It wasn't a working your notice. It wasn't a mutual consent. We have sacked both of them.
Why did he do it when he done it? Like, if he'd done it 1 month earlier, like, what changes in that 1 month? Do you think he got to that stage, everything just added up? The thing with Gerrard added up, maybe they said no because Gerrard said no because of those idiots there. It mounted up, the losses, and then a month later, Kavanagh just went, "I've had enough, you're sacked." Do you think he's got regrets about the Gerrard thing, though, a month earlier, though?
Yeah. Like you said, Trev, has Kavanagh and Parath maybe looked at something that they can't quite prove, but there's enough there for them to say, this is a bit fishy here, we're going to get them in, talk to them. Boom, they went. Because it was all of a sudden, wasn't it? There was no mention of, we're looking at their positions, we're looking at their jobs. Because 2 months previous, he was telling us that, they're in situ and his son came in and Purdy came in. And then within the matter of, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, Brian, I can't remember what it was, bang, he's on the steps in Ibrox saying he's fired them.
Yeah. They need to investigate that deal thoroughly, man. They do. And they just need to go through the contract.
Yeah, that'll all come out in the fullness of time. I don't want to be speculating and throwing mud at people. So Brian, Frankie put a comment in there that I put up, and I've taken the things he was up for so long. He'll be enjoying his Christmas back with his family in Thailand. So Frankie, thanks for tuning in.
Nice.
Sunny your claims with your family. And, he lives out there now, so hopefully he's settled back into life out there after more.
Wilf, can you get a weather report from Stephen?
I'm not, Martin. I'm not interested in the weather. I know it's going to be about 14 degrees. So, So Brian, Frankie said, we need at least 3 experienced heads in the team in January. So Who do we bring in? What positions do we? Or if you can't name names, what positions do we bring them in?
We need a centre half, a left back, and a striker. I think if we got those three positions, I would be quite pleased. Purely for the fact that Magoma is the only left back that we currently have.
Which one's more important, Brian? Like immediately, which one's
Sorry,
more
Brian, before you answer that, I've got a weather report from Thailand. It's 27 degrees.
Oh,
and it's
that's quite nice, isn't it?
At night.
That's taps off, Trev, isn't it? Taps off, mate.
Taps off when it's 10 degrees. What are you saying?
I actually think the centre half position is one of the most important. I think the centre half's the most important position because that is where we're chronically really struggling. We've had more pairings in that position than we've ever had in any season I can remember. We need to, I've always said that the back five should never change much, barring injuries or suspensions. That's when good relationships start. That's when trusts start. And if you trust your defender and your goalkeeper, simultaneously, then all of a sudden you've got a good unit. So for me, the centre half position is one that we've really got to sort out. Do we keep Cornelius? Do we try and make his loan permanent? But we really need to sort out the centre half position. We've always built our great teams have always been built on good centre halves, good pairings. And sadly, that's been lacking for a long time now. So, yeah, although we need a left back, although we need a striker, the centre half for me is the position where you start from the back and you build forward.
Right, here's a question. Right, completely off. I didn't see this one coming from Gaz. Andrew, would you take Keith Winus as your CEO? That's him that used to be at Aberdeen, and I think he's currently at Everton, or he was at Everton. Would you take him in as your CEO?
No.
Because he's got experience in football.
No.
Good answer. Trev, would you take him?
If he's a cheapie, no. Nah, not interested. Sorry, we've done that already and it didn't work. So, no thank you. You've got to be neutral or Rangers.
The current CEO at Aberdeen that went from Motherwell.
No, I wouldn't. Well, that was my next question to you, Brian. Would you take the fella that's currently that went from Burrows? Yeah, that went from Motherwell. Would you take him?
You're asking questions that are above my knowledge, so I don't know. Asking about CEOs and if they're good or not, I have no idea. The only one I thought was decently competent was the lassie Leanne Dempster. I thought she was fairly competent when she was at Hibs, and she was.
And she's a blue nose.
Is she?
Yeah, she is.
So of all the ones that I've seen recently, she seems to be the most competent out of the ones I've seen. So, yeah. If as I say, I don't know much about the position or what it entails, but if I was going for anybody, it'd be her.
There's Brian sitting on the fence on Christmas Day. Make sure you don't get splinters in your arse before you eat your turkey, Brian.
Well, I'll say no to Burrows then. There you go. I'm not sitting on the fence now.
There we go. There we go.
And that was Wilf being Christmassy, by the way.
Absolutely. It was me being Christmassy. 100% it was me being Christmassy.
Brian's still upset about the Ashes, Wilf. Leave him alone. He's still upset about the Ashes.
You have to do that. Really?
Just imagine supporting England, man. That's shocking. That.
Martin told
me. For Australia?
I wasn't.
Exactly.
But Australians are all English. They just went over there as convicts anyway, so it's the same difference.
Well, I know. The thing is, they got the best deal. They've got the best weather.
The thing is, though, they got told they were going on a Butlins holiday, didn't they? That's what they got told. We're going on a Butlins holiday. When they got there, there's the old guy that got chained to the rock that Billy Connolly went on about. Used to shout abuse at the boats as they came in. Aye, he was for Gavin Hill originally, I think.
There we go. There's Dougal saying about Leanne Dempster. She's still at Queen's Park. I believe she is. If not, her, I'd go for Burrows, but without Aberdeen, we'd pick up the phone. I'm sorry, Dougal, I don't want Burrows at all. I've heard he's anywhere don't think he's the sort of profile we want. And there's Aldo Penny. I got to agree with you when you're talking about the old Ashes. Cricket is
Chocolate ice cream. Is that?
I agree.
If you want to eat that chocolate ice cream, Andrew, then
No.
I've been to your grandson when he arrives in a couple of hours' time.
I mean, was Leanne Dempster not at Hibs at the time when they were producing all the kids, all the sort of that period of when Hibs were, potentially looking very good?
Yeah, she was responsible for directing transfer money away from bigger players into the academy.
Yeah.
What a step down they go to Queen's Park, man.
She worked brilliantly with the sporting director at Hibs as well, which was, I think, something
Did
we
she go to Motherwell, or was that my imagining that?
She was at Motherwell, but not as a CEO. She was something else at Motherwell, I think, for a short spell, and then she went to Hibs. But the interesting thing for me is we've got Danny Rule coming to the January window. We've got Stiggin potentially for 6 months, but we haven't got a permanent sporting director or a permanent chief executive yet.
But Andrew, to me, that's okay because we're not rushing. We haven't rushed that. We don't want to rush the appointment. We haven't rushed the appointment, so that's. To me, that's okay. We need a CEO before we need a sporting director. Because
I agree with that, Will. But what I'm saying is that because Kavanagh and Parathi want to keep them untarnished by anything that could possibly go wrong January, summertime?
So, don't know. I mean,
it's interesting that they've not done anything. That's what I'm saying.
CEO's got to be somebody that Andrew Kavanagh trusts because, let's be honest, he put his trust in Patrick Stewart. Look where that got him.
I'm just laughing at what Stephen's just put up. Can't believe Wilf just called us bloody English.
I noticed that comment disappeared off the touch screen very quickly.
Yes,
that was me to put it on. I'll put it back on if you want.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, that's disgraceful.
Stephen, if he's
Australia was almost uninhabited apart from by the Aborigines until the £10 bombs as it was up on there saying when I went across to Australia. As I understand the Australian thing, you know what I mean?
I will support the Australian side because I have a soft spot for them. I have a visa to live in that country. I love the Aussies. I just don't like the severe because I get homesick if I go like more than 10 metres out my flat or the city, really. So I kind of.
How can you be homesick for Scotland's second city, Trev? That's ridiculous.
I get homesick going to the toilet. Never mind leaving my flat.
I know the feeling. So I'm like, during COVID, it was like everyone was like, oh, look at this, we're stuck in for ages. And me and a couple of my friends were the same. We're like, we've been training for this for years. This is easy. What's everyone complaining about? I just do this now and I get kind of paid for it. Love it.
There you go, Trev. You could go to Australia, live with Stephen, and be his living male nanny for his new baby that's on the way.
I don't have a problem with that. I've always said if I ever had decided of having kids, I would make sure to marry someone smarter than me with more money than me, so I could be the stay-home dad. And then as soon as the kid's sleeping, I would just put on the PlayStation.
I did that 20 years ago, and look where it got me.
Oh, all right, okay, right, okay. Maybe not then.
Anyway, folks, before this descends into complete and utter farce, I did say
to my Christmas, Wilf.
My de facto in-laws, because I know he's loved me using that word, that I would be about an hour. My daughter should be here very soon. Debbie should be on her way. She should be here very soon. I'd quite like to see her.
I had to look that up, Wilf. I hadn't a clue what it meant. I was like, de facto? What's the
default, isn't it?
Anyway, the sniper said in the comments way back about 40 minutes ago, special mention to Caroline, who was a great supporter of the pod before she sadly passed away. Thinking of it today, and obviously to everybody that can't be with us at Christmas. I know Brian lost his mother very, 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 very recently. So, thoughts with folk like Brian who've lost people that we would normally spend Christmas Day with and can't today.
I've got my neighbour coming across later, and bless him, his missus lost her grandmother just about 4 days ago.
Horrendous.
It's horrible anyway, but it's double horrible at this time of the year, isn't it?
Thinking we'll raise it. I mean, I don't have a drink with me here, but I'll raise a glass to everybody that's not here.
As we said before we came on, Wilf, it never hurts to do somebody a kindness if you can, especially at this time of year. It doesn't hurt, does it? You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. I mean, there's
It's just the right thing to do, I think.
Yes, it is a sad time of year for a lot of people.
I mean, as we said, you know, we all moan about Christmas. I'm like Brian. I'm a bit of a Grinch. I make the effort for the wee fella. I'm going to make no bones about it. And I made the effort for my kids. But other than that, I could do without it, to be honest. But,
Yeah.
you know, I'm lucky. As you said earlier, Wilf, I'm lucky because I've had family about me all my life. I've had friends about me all my life. You know, I've never been in a position where I've been down on my hunkers, shall we say, you know, at this time of year. I've always had somebody there if I'm struggling or whatever. And I would just like, you know, I'm not going to say what I've done this morning. You know, Wilf, we had a chat about it. I'll do that every year I can as long as I'm physically able. It's a small percentage of something, but hopefully it sent a couple of guys away the day feeling a wee bit better about themselves.
Yep,
and that's all it is, you know.
Just before we go, as Jordy says, if anybody's getting it tight or really suffering, you know, the Rabble Discord's there for anybody that's
Absolutely.
on that, the members. I don't use it because I don't really have time to get involved in all that. But all our social medias, we're quite easy to get hold of. Even just drop the Rabble a message. If you're struggling, just give us a shout. We'll do what we can to help you through. I
think it's fantastic that the Rabble does a live show on Christmas Day, Wilf, to be fair. And I think a lot of that is down to you from what I gather, because you're always for doing it.
It's just something I feel there's people on their own, people that need things like this. I mean, there's been Christmases in the past. I'd love to have something like this just to watch and get involved in. You know, and I've never really struggled, but I have been on my own sometimes. Just through.
You know, sometimes it's just that even a couple of kind words in it. It doesn't have to be anything major. Just a couple of kind words and an arm around the shoulder, and sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that is enough for people that are really struggling out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that word to absent friends, enjoy the day as best you can, folks. As I've been saying for the last kind of day or so, I hope you spend the day with the people that you want to spend it with.
I'll put the pictures of the carnage up later, Wilf, when the wee man's destroyed the place.
If you can't spend it with the people you want to spend it with, you know, think about them, because they'll certainly be looking down on you.
100%.
And the Rabble will be back tomorrow morning doing whatever it is the Rabbles. I don't even know what the schedule is because I've not looked, but there will be stuff on tomorrow. Then obviously there'll be the match day stuff on Saturday. But if you are struggling, jump on the Discord, get hold of any of our contact details on the socials. We'll do the best we can to support you if we can. There's loads of people. It's not just the four of us. It's everybody in the Rabble, everybody else. We're just a big family, big community. Try and do what we can to help each other. So enjoy the rest of your Christmas Day. Enjoy Boxing Day tomorrow. Don't spend too much on the sale. I am size large if anybody's interested for the Boxing Day sale tomorrow. And we will catch you later. Cheers, guys.